In many cultures around the world, women are often expected to adhere to specific norms and expectations regarding their lives, roles, and behaviors. These cultural norms may include traditional gender roles, societal expectations regarding marriage and motherhood, and limitations on women's autonomy and freedom. Traditionally, women have been expected to prioritize family and caregiving responsibilities over personal ambitions and career aspirations. They may face pressure to conform to societal standards of femininity, modesty, obedience, and may encounter barriers to accessing education, economic opportunities, and leadership roles. However, as societies evolve and progress, there is a growing recognition of the need to challenge and redefine these cultural norms. Women are increasingly empowered to live their lives on their own terms, breaking free from traditional expectations and forging their own paths to fulfillment and success. As some of you may have or have not known, but I am Hmong American, born and raised in the United States. As a Hmong woman, there are expectations of how I should live my life based on pleasing my families, my clan last name, and to the public eyes. But through my personal experiences and what I know now, I don't have to live my life pleasing others, but rather living life the way I want to live. I've learned as a Hmong woman that I too can own and make my life choices. I may not be your typical average Asian Hmong woman. However, I want to share with my other Hmong sisters out there that they too can take charge of their life and live the life they desire to live. These things that I will be sharing with you are some of the things our parents and families did not instill into our upbringings, but rather how we should live our lives in today's modern society. To know more about what those things are, keep listening because you don't want to miss this episode. And welcome back to another episode of yours truly. It is I, your one and only host, Druelee, of course. And let's not forget my co-host, Arabelle, as well too. So if you guys hear any jingle in the background, it's because she's sitting right next to me and she just wants attention, okay? So without further ado, let's get on with this episode. So for this episode, it is near and dear to my heart. It's because this episode is going to be dedicated to all of my Hmong sisters out there. And for those who are not Hmong, I'm pretty sure your culture or how your upbringing is might be the same as how we all grew up in the Hmong culture. And so if this episode resonates with you, with anything that I will be talking about, then keep listening. You can go ahead and take my advice from this episode into your own life as well. Just because you're not Hmong, that doesn't mean that you're different from us. And I do believe that a lot of our cultures, different cultures, we do believe and we do live the same similar life in a way. And so if you're listening to this episode, you're not Hmong, then thank you so much for listening. But this episode is more geared towards to my Hmong sisters. And the reason why I want to, dedicate this episode to them is because me being a Hmong daughter, Hmong sister, Hmong auntie, a Hmong wife, a Hmong girlfriend, a Hmong woman in general, we all went through the same thing to where, of course, there's some of us that we did learn a lot more about our culture. There's some of us that didn't grow up knowing about our Hmong culture. And just a little background about me. And I know that in my previous episode, I did kind of told you guys about my background a little bit, but just so that you guys have an idea of what I am trying to convey or trying to tell you guys, or trying to give you guys all these advice that I will be giving to you guys later on throughout the episode, is I just want you guys to know where my background is and why I am telling all of my Hmong sisters why you guys should and shouldn't do certain things when it comes to living in modern society. So a little bit about me is that even though I am Hmong, I don't really know much about my culture. I did not grow up in a traditionally, culturally family where what we call it is believing in the old traditional way, which is pretty much the shamanism way. I grew up in a church. I grew up being a Christian. And so all I knew about was just going to church, believing in God and doing God's work and, helping the church and all that stuff. And for me and my siblings, we weren't even close to any of my Lee clan family. I think we were when we were younger, but as we got a little older and the more my dad wanted all of us to be involved in the church, we haven't really have that connection with my cousins, my Lee cousins. And so it's unfortunate, but we just didn't have that experience or have that close-knit with them, nor did we have that kind of relationship with my mom's side of the family too. And so the only family that I knew was church family, and that was it. And then when it comes to church, we didn't really learn much about our culture. I mean, when it comes to like funerals and weddings, yeah, we did kind of do like Hmong traditional things or more like our Hmong cultural things. However, when it comes to actually doing the shaman rituals, or a lot of our Hmong families, they still believe and practice the old way or the shaman way. For me, I didn't grow up learning any of these things. When it comes to New Year's, I didn't even go to like the New Year's at all. I think I went to like the Metrodome. You guys still remember the Metrodome? I think I only went there like a couple times. I've been to River Center once in my life. Well, I think it's like twice now in my life ever. And I didn't wear Hmong clothes at all. When your parents have 11 kids, like, it's really hard to manage, and it's really hard to provide Hmong clothes for all of us. And also, you guys have to keep in mind is that my parents, they weren't really into like the Hmong culture stuff too. And so, again, I didn't go to New Year's every year. We didn't celebrate New Year's every year. The only time that I got a chance to wear Hmong clothes was during church, okay? And for those who goes to Hmong church, hopefully I'm not the only one that experienced this, but do your Hmong church wear Hmong clothes during the New Year's when you ring in the New Year's? Because for us, we did that. And that was the only time that I was able to wear Hmong clothes. And so imagine, growing up, having all these siblings. My mom did not have at the time or the money to make Hmong clothes or to buy Hmong clothes because there's just so many of us. And when you have so much of us, living and scattered around and, being very young and we're not being able to fend for ourselves or actually provide for ourselves. My parents didn't have the money to buy these Hmong clothes for us. And the only Hmong clothes I own now, it's very sad, is the Hmong clothes that I wore when I was married. Okay, that's the only Hmong clothes that I have. And so it's very foreign to me. Like, to be honest with you guys, I don't know how to buy Hmong clothes. I'm very foreign when it comes to buying Hmong clothes. They're very pretty. I do like how we style and how we incorporate other Asian culture into our outfits. And it's very beautiful. I love it. But I think when it comes to, if I have kids in the future, I won't be able to find Hmong clothes for them, And so, yeah, like I'm being honest and transparent with you guys. Like, I did not grow up with parents who instill Hmong culture to us and to understand the importance of, Hmong, being a Hmong. And so I'm very Americanized. I don't know, as of right now in the current time, I am very free spirit. I would love to know more about my culture and all that stuff, right? Eventually, in the upcoming episodes, I will definitely do an episode pertaining to, understanding the culture itself, because I am very intrigued and very interested in learning more about how we do certain things. Just the fact that if you guys have been listening to my episode in the beginning, you guys know that the way that I did, or the way that my parents did my Hmong wedding, it wasn't the way that it's supposed to be done in the Hmong cultural way. And on top of that, same with my divorce. It wasn't done properly in the way that it should be done. And so me being a Hmong daughter, a Hmong woman, like, I have questions. I want to understand how come we didn't do it correctly per our Hmong, I don't know, procedures, our Hmong rules. I don't know. And so eventually I will do another episode of that. And hopefully you guys can be in the journey with me and learn something too, because I want to know why we are doing certain things, and whether or not the way my wedding was held, was it supposed to be the way it is, and same with my divorce, and our culture, our standards and our tradition. Is it supposed to, I don't know, benefit the woman, or is it supposed to benefit the man? Who knows? But that's, aside from that, that's just a different episode that I will be doing in the near future. But let's go back. Let's regroup. Let's come back to as to why I wanted to dedicate this episode to our Hmong sisters, because again, you guys know a little bit of history of me. Like, I'm not culturally ingrained into the Hmong culture at all. I know of it, but I don't know enough to speak upon on it. And even if I didn't know much, I just knew of it because, of course, my parents are Hmong. I'm Hmong, and these are just certain things that we learned growing up. It was instilled into my life, into my upbringings, being a Hmong daughter. As years goes by, as you have different experiences in life, whether your family is traditionally cultured into the Hmong culture or you are not at all, like, I just wanted to, give you guys some advice and just tell you guys that the things that our parents taught us, there are good things and there are bad things. But now that we live in a world or in the modern society where, we don't live in that kind of life back in the days where, we're in Laos or we're in Thailand, or, we're not in our, I don't know, motherland where us women don't have a voice. Here in the United States, we do have a voice, and we have a choice that we can make for ourselves. And just because growing up, our parents say that we should do this and do that, it does limit us from reaching our potential and becoming the best version of ourselves. I have a lot of friends and, families and a lot of Hmong women that I talk to in regards to, their relationship with their spouse or their families. And I've been really, I don't know, emotional about it. I've been thinking a lot about my Hmong sisters a lot. And I'm just one of those people that was able to have the strength to leave a relationship that didn't serve me. I was able to create that boundaries for myself. I was able to live the life that I want to live and have a voice for myself. I was able to be that confident Hmong woman. And although I would love to save every Hmong woman that I talk to when it comes to the kind of issues that they have in their life, that's up to them if they want to save themselves. It's up to them to see that they too can have the life that they dream of, or the life that they deserve. And I can't save everyone. Like, I will be the ear to listen and to give advice. But the only thing that can change in their life is them. And, my heart has been very heavy. I've been very emotional about all the shit that a Hmong woman has to go through, or any woman in general will have to go through. I'm not trying to bash on anybody. I'm not trying to bash on the males or the men. It's just more of, these are all the things that us women go through, and we don't know what to do because of how we were brought up. There's a couple things that I want to give advice to any of my Hmong sisters who are listening. And for those who are not Hmong, if the way that my culture and the way that I've explained to you of how I grew up in the Hmong culture and it kind of pertains to you or is similar to your culture, then go right ahead and take these advice. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of advice that can be given to you guys. But in the meantime, during this present time in this episode, these are the 7 things that I came up with. And I hope that it could encourage all of my Hmong sisters to have the courage to want better for their lives and to do better for your lives. Because I always keep saying, at the end of the day, this is your life. Nobody is going to force you or they're not going to kidnap you or force you to not live the life that you deserve. That's up to you to make the choice. And the moment when you realize that, then it will be so refreshing. You will be so peaceful. You will be so happy because I've been there. Okay, I've been there, and I'm still doing that kind of work. I'm still living the life. Okay, and so 7 things that I have for you guys, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, there's still more that you guys can change or add to, but these are just the 7 things that I want to give you guys advice or tell you guys. That way, you guys can want better for yourself. So the first thing is, I know that like back in the days, okay, when you date a guy and let's say you go out for a long period of time, let's say like you don't come back home after 12 a.m., right? And then you're forced to get married. Or let's say that, you're dating this guy and then you guys happen to, have some good time, right? Have some good time because you guys are feeling each other. You guys are being intimate, okay? And then a month later, you found out that you're pregnant. I've noticed with a lot of us Hmong women, and to this day too, I know that some of us, we are still getting forced to get married, and we are getting married because we're pregnant. Here's my thing, okay? I am up for getting married, being in a marriage. However, you do not have to get married if you're pregnant or if you're being forced. Okay. Now, I don't know, nowadays people are getting forced to get married, but if your family or your parents is very hardcore traditional and they still believe in all that stuff, my sisters, okay, you guys don't have to get married. Okay. You have the free will to say no. And let's say if you're under the age, I don't care if you're under the age or you're over the age. It don't matter. Call the fucking damn police and claim it as if it's a kidnap or something, okay? Because you guys shouldn't even be being forced to get married, okay? Just because you went out and you couldn't make it home on time. I get it, but that's not a good example or that's not a good way of putting yourself in a marriage. Because like I always said, marriage is not a game. It's not something that you fuck around and you just get married because people are doing it and you feel like you're way behind, or that I have to listen to my parents because that's what they want me to do. No, you have the free will to say no. Going back to being pregnant. If you're pregnant, you don't have to get married, okay? I get that it's just a way to have both parents to be in the lives of the kids. However, being pregnant is not the answer to being married. Bringing a child to this world will not change a man, nor will it change him because you're pregnant, okay? It's not going to make him hurry up and get married to you. It's not going to make him change to love you. Don't use pregnancy just to get married, okay? Because what happens is in the current time, your relationship is not where it should be. It's very toxic. And then you happen to get pregnant, and then the only way to be together is to get married. But then the toxic energy is still there. So what's the point of being pregnant on top of that to get married? And now you're stuck. So it's kind of like, come on now. Like I'm just being real, you guys. A lot of time people like to sugarcoat shit, but for me, I'm on the darker side, okay? I mean, not like a dark side, but I'm just telling you guys how it is. You don't have to get married if you are pregnant. You don't have to get married if you stay out late and you're forced to get married. Marriage is not for everyone. And let's say if you're a lot older and you don't feel like it's necessary to get married, you don't have to get married. Some people believe that in order to be successful in life is to get married and have kids. And my thing is that no, you don't have to prove to everybody that in order for you to be successful is for you to get married, have a partner, and then have kids. Because what happens if you do get married and you can't have kids? Then what? Are you telling me that these people aren't successful in life? What if they can't have kids because their body can't have or they can't produce kids? But then they're successful because they either have a business or they have a good paying job. They have a house. They are successful because of the way they think. It's like people need to stop saying that in order to be successful, you have to do all those things. No, because people are successful if they're single. The way that you can actually be more successful is if you're single. And the only reason why I say that is because you don't have to worry about anybody but yourself. You have a lot of time to figure your shit out. Like I'm a living proof. Okay, I'm single. I'm able to create this podcast. I'm able to wake up whenever. I'm able to get up and if a friend wants to hang out or have dinner, I'm able to get up and do that and plan that and go and do those things. Versus people who are married, they can't just get up and leave. They have to communicate that to their partner, and if they have kids, they have to make sure that they have a babysitter. And if they can't find a babysitter, they can't go anywhere, And so being single, you have the advantage of being successful. Being married, of course, you have that extra partner or the extra person to be there to, help you in things that you can't do. Like I said, marriage is not for everyone. But if you feel like it's something that you don't want in your life, that's fine. That's okay. Just because your family, your friends, and the Hmong culture, they believe that you're going to be old, nobody wants you. And trust me, my mom has said that, okay? My mom has said that. Go find a new husband. That way, when you die, somebody can bury you or whatever, right? But I'm like, Mom, I'm just going to plan my own funeral. And then any money that I have left, just give it to Arabelle. And hopefully her and her community can do something good to it. I don't know. Okay. And so trust me, my mom has said that. Like I said, marriage is not for everyone. And just going back to those two main points, just because you're pregnant, just because you are forced to get married, you do not have to get married at all. Okay. And it's okay. It's okay to not get married. Because, girl, the single life is it too. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Kind of tying to getting married, it's okay to not have kids as well too. And again, I know some of us, we can't produce kids scientifically or biologically. And it's, I get it. It's unfortunate. However, there are some people that don't want to have kids. And that's okay. Can we just normalize that it's okay to be married and not have kids? It's okay to not be married and not want kids. I'm not shading to anyone who has kids, because I thought about it too. Like I wanted to have kids, but in order to have kids, I need to have a partner who is in the same mindset and who is willing to step up. Because having a kid, like, you can't just do it by yourself. I give props to any single parents out there that is able to take care of their kids by themselves. But for me, in this present time, in order for me to have kids, I need a partner. Just because a lot of our Hmong parents are telling us to, get educated, get a college degree, get a good job, and then get married and have kids. And if you're not able to have kids, then what? A lot of our parents, they do bring us down and they look down on us just because we don't have kids. Just because you don't have kids, that doesn't mean that you're no better. It's like things happen for a reason. And if you try all of the solutions that you can think of and it's not happening, I say just accept it. You can always adopt, and I know some people don't want to adopt. They want their own kind. But let's be real here. There's not much that you can do when it comes to having kids naturally or having kids through IUI or IVF or whatever the medical terms are, okay? Even though I've tried it and I wasn't able to successfully have kids, who knows? Maybe in the future I might have kids. Maybe it's just part of my destiny or my fate to not have kids. I don't know. From what people say, just because you're getting a lot older, you don't have kids, that doesn't mean that you are less of a woman. As much as you will want kids, and trust me, I've always wanted kids too, but I've come to realize and I've come to accept that, you know, maybe in my life I'm not meant to have kids. And if I am, I will gladly accept it. But if not, then it is what it is. I will accept my life without kids. And like I said, I'm very optimistic. I see both sides and I'm willing to accept both sides of my life, because you never know what your life will take you to. Don't just have kids just to have kids. Don't just sleep with the guy and hope that, like I mentioned earlier, that he will be with you. Or in order for me to have kids is my way of having purpose in life. No. And I get it, but at the same time, when you have a child or you have kids, you shouldn't use them as a purpose for you to continue to live life. Because you have to realize that once they reach an age where they can fend for themselves, or they are, married and they're starting their life, what are you going to do with your own life? Are you still going to nag at them? Are you still going to insert yourself into their relationship? Like, come on now. We don't want to do that. We don't want to put our kids in our life where they are the reason why we're still living. It's just my opinion. I mean, some of you guys don't have anything better to do in your life, and I get it. And you guys have been parents for all these years. But you also have to remember, you have your own life too. When you don't have your husband, when you don't have your kids, then what? Like, who are you without them? Think about that. But like I said, you have to have a reason why you want to have kids. But if you don't feel like kids is necessary in your life, that's okay. Don't stress yourself. Don't force yourself to have kids just because mom and dad told you to, or your aunt or your grandma or anybody who is forcing you, or telling you that you should hurry up and have kids, and that way when you die then they can take care of you. No. We live in the United States. I'm pretty sure there's other services that can help you once you get older. And you guys, I don't know what those are, but eventually if I get older, I will definitely do my research, okay? But yeah, you don't have to have kids. And it's okay. But if you want some, sure. But make sure it's for a good reason and not just because you're trying to prove to your man that you can have kids, or you're trying to prove to others that you can, or it's a way of being successful. No. Have kids because you want to have kids. But at the same time, make sure that you have kids with the right guy, because sometimes some of these guys, they ain't it. But you just gotta figure out which guy is it when it comes to having kids with him. And let's move on to the next one, which it ties to men, okay? Ladies or my Hmong sisters, you don't have to date Hmong guys, okay? You have to have an open mind when it comes to dating a guy or dating or marrying a guy. For me, if you strip out culture, strip out politics, religion, for me, I see everybody as the same. Now, I know that growing up, our parents would tell us to just marry and date and marry our Hmong people. That way it's a lot easier. However, you guys, I'm not trying to bash our Hmong men, okay? But majority of the Hmong men that I've met, they're not all that, okay? And the reason why I'm telling you Hmong sisters to date outside of your Hmong men is because what if you meet somebody who has the same mentality as you? Just because he's Hmong and it's a lot easier, but if his mindset, the way he thinks and view things in life, is not similar to how you think and how you see things in life, his values, his standards, is it the same as you? Then why would you want to continue to date and eventually marry this person? Like for me, the way that I think is a lot different from how other Hmong women would think. I am a free spirit type of person, a free spirit type of woman. I enjoy deep conversations. I'm not surface level. I don't really like to go out to the bars and club as much. Only like once in a while, probably like once a month or twice or once every 2 months. And knowing how our Hmong culture is, there's a lot of drinking. There's a lot of like, I don't know, partying and all that stuff. And for me, it's just not my vibe. I feel like when it comes to dating a Hmong guy, you got to make sure that your lifestyle is similar in a way. Of course, some of you guys can be extrovert, some of you guys can be introvert. However, knowing how the Hmong culture is and how some men are and the way they think, for me, like I'm very outspoken. I don't just sit there and just shut up. I used to be like that. Trust me, I used to be very shy and quiet. I didn't have an opinion for myself. And now, after what I've been through, I'm more confident. I just speak whatever's in my mind. I don't mean to offend anybody, but when I speak, it's all about being honest and being truthful. That's just me. Some people may not like it. Some men may not like it. But that's why I say to you Hmong sisters is that you have to find somebody that has the same mentality as you, okay? If you want to submit to your husband and, it's his way, nobody's way, and you want other people to walk all over you, sure, date a Hmong guy, okay? If you want to be with a Hmong man who is not willing to stand up for you when he knows that his family did you wrong or say something wrong to you when you didn't do anything wrong, go ahead. And like I said, Hmong men, please do not be mad at me, okay? These are just typical things that us Hmong women go through, okay? And I'm not sugarcoating nothing, okay? I'm just letting you know that for my Hmong sisters is that have an open mind to date other guys, date other men, and be able to understand his culture, even if it's a lot different. I feel like when you respect his culture and his background, you both have respect for each other. That's all that matters. But my thing is that if the guy that you are looking for, his character, the way that he is, the way he thinks, it's not how you want him to think, but you're with him because he's Hmong, yeah, it's not gonna work out. And again, I've never dated like a non-Hmong guy. However, I'm not opposed to it. I'm very open to meeting other guys who are not Hmong. But I am looking for someone who has the same mentality, same value as me, same lifestyle. It could be too much. It could be too much, especially in our Hmong culture where, like I mentioned, a lot of drinking and a lot of all those things. Like, it's just too much. So to all my Hmong sisters, be open-minded to dating other Hmong men. Be open-minded to dating other non-Hmong men. Because we all know nowadays, Hmong men, they want easy, but the way that we grew up, we're not easy, okay? We're not easy. We're really masculine, and our Hmong men are very feminine, and, like, what can you do? So I'm going to leave it like that, okay? Number 4, just going back to us being very masculine, very driven to being able to have things under control, right? And I do have to blame it on our parents because they raised us daughters, Hmong daughters, to get educated, get a good job, find a man, get married, be patient, be loyal, do everything for the family. It's to the point where you don't really matter, basically. And a lot of times, I'm like this too, where we have to put on our strong mask in order to survive life, right? I say that it's okay to take off your strong mask. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry. It's okay to call it quits. It's okay to take the time to fix your mental mind state, because life can be hard. Especially, let's say if you're married, okay? Your in-laws, they don't treat you well. Let's say your husband don't even help you at all. It's okay to just walk away a little bit and, be vulnerable. If you can't be vulnerable with your husband, you could be vulnerable with your girlfriends. Like, hey, you could be vulnerable with me. Like, after my divorce, I've learned to understand that, it's okay to be in my emotions. It's okay for me to not be strong all the time. When I am strong all the time and trying to be in control of my life and figure shit out and always be the one who's patient, always the one who's always listening, always the one to take care of everyone. And when I need my needs to be needed, and when I need to be taken care of, who's going to take care of me? Nobody else is going to do that. And so at the end of it all, I have to take care of myself. Take the time to soften yourself. And I get it could be hard just because you've been like that all your life. You've been the strongest person. You've been the mama bear of either your friends group or your sister, or you're like the second mom to your family. Like, you've always been the one who has to wear your strong mask all the time, every fucking single day. And I say that it's okay to take it off. It's okay to say no. It's okay to be girly. It's okay to be feminine. It's okay to be soft. You don't have to be a macho man. You don't have to be demanding. You don't have to be a drill surgeon, okay? You don't have to be the top-notch bitch. Because sometimes a top-notch bitch needs to be a flower, okay? So, you guys, I'm learning to, take off that strong mask and just be delicate, be at ease, be poised. And you guys, it feels so nice just to relax and just not always have to get shit done, or not always have to put up a front saying that, oh, I am strong. It's okay to let it all just go. You don't always have to be strong all the time. I know it's hard. It's really hard. But trust me, I've done it. I'm a lot softer, I think. I'm a lot, you could say I'm a lot softer, and I am more in my feminine. I just want to be gentle, and I just don't want to be so aggressive or like be that ghetto bitch, okay? Trust me on this, okay? I've been there. I've been that strong, independent woman, okay? And now I'm just more of, let me just be a woman. Let me just be soft. Let me just be gentle. Because trust me, your life would be a lot easier. You don't have to be so stressful about trying to get your shit together. So that's that. This also ties to taking off your strong mask. At the same time, when you take off your strong mask, number 5, stop people pleasing. I'm still working on that too, okay? And we know, growing up in the Hmong family, we are supposed to cater to everyone. We don't exist. Our existence doesn't exist. Our opinion doesn't matter. And we have to make sure that our kids are fed, our husband is fed, either food or sex. It's either take care of our in-laws, take care of our parents when they're old, take care of our siblings. We all have to take care of everybody except us. And at the same time, we don't have anybody to take care of us. And with that, I just learned to not please people anymore. I learned to just create the boundaries. And you guys, this is like an everyday thing that I'm always working on, is just making sure that people are not crossing my boundaries. And even if I am vocal about my boundaries and people are not understanding, it's okay to let people go, or just create the boundaries where people can't use and abuse you. And it's hard. It's really hard. And just because you stop pleasing other people, that doesn't mean that you're cutting them off. It doesn't mean that you hate them. It's more of you have to protect yourself. You have to protect your mental state. You have to protect your energy. And when you feel that things aren't right and people's energy is negative towards you, it's okay to step back and just say, nope, I can't do this. Nope, you're not going to do this to me. We have to learn to stop pleasing people. And I know in our culture, this is like a main thing where we like to please other people. We like to have this reputation where, oh, we're the best, right? We're the best leader, we're the best clan, or we're like the best, I don't know, uncle or aunt or whatever it is, right? Like we want to be well known out there and be known to be like the best, right? And so we're going to do what we can to be the best. But at the same time, it's kind of like, is that truly you or is that your fake self? You end up faking things. And for me, I don't like to fake shit. I really don't. I am always going to be honest, and I'm just going to say things that are real. I'm not going to be the fake Drew. I'm not. Some people are able to put up a front and act fake and be someone that they're not just because they're trying to please other people or they want people to believe that they're like the best person, right? But in reality, in their life at home, they're like the worst piece of shit, okay? And we all may not know that, but they know that themselves. My thing is that what's the point of pleasing other people when they're not going to benefit you in any way? That's why I say just stop doing that shit. Like, stop making it so hard on yourself. The only people that you should be pleasing, or the only person that you should be pleasing, is yourself. You got to make sure that you are who you are as a person and that you're not going to cross over your own boundaries. Because when you start to do that, when you start doing things that you don't feel comfortable doing, or if you are saying things that you know that that's not you, then I don't know, it just makes you look fake, make you sound fake, and you're not your true authentic self. So I say, start to learn to stop pleasing other people, because you have to make sure that you are good in your life. And I get it. It's hard. It's really hard. But the first thing that you should definitely do is create the boundaries for sure. But yeah. Let's learn to not please other people. Let's do the opposite. How about that? Okay. And for the next one, it kind of ties back to a lot of the points that I mentioned earlier. The sixth one is learning to let go of things. With that, there's so many things that you can learn to let go of. For example, my family, or more like my parents, they are the type of parents that are very clean freak. Growing up, they want to make sure that the food that we eat is cleaned properly. They want to make sure that when we're eating, that we shouldn't broom the floor, because that can cause dust to fly in the air and it might fall into the food. Forks and spoons and plates should be clean, like super, super clean. There shouldn't be any leftover food that's stuck on the dishes or the utensils. So yeah, my parents were really clean freak. And if, let's say, if we're done eating and we have leftovers, we shouldn't leave them out without a cover on it. If let's say if we leave the food out and the food is not covered, they're not gonna eat it. Again, they were like, I don't know if a lot of your families or your parents are neat freaks, or like they're really picky when it comes to food and all that stuff. But my parents, they were like that. Okay, same with cleaning. Like they want to make sure that everything is clean. Now that I'm a lot older, okay, I've learned to let go of that. And I'm not saying that I'm dirty. No, it's more of, you guys have to understand this, okay? You have a full-time job. You work 10 hours every Monday through Thursday. You do overtime as well. You don't have time to clean up your house every fucking single day. You don't. For me, I don't either. And the only way that I will clean up is every weekend during the week. On Sunday or Saturday, I'll wash the dishes. I will, vacuum my floors and do chores and all stuff, right? Now, if you have kids, it might be a little bit different. Hopefully, you have a partner who can help you clean. If not, I don't know. You're at a loss, okay? But thing is that what I'm trying to say is that it's okay to let go of trying to clean every day, because at the end of the day you have to understand you're not a robot. You're not a robot where you can do this every single day, go to work, and then take care of your kids and take care of your husband, and then repeat that all over again. Like, there are times you just don't have time. And if you can set up a time to do that once a week, great. If you have guests over, yeah, that's going to force you to clean up, but my thing is that don't be a mess where like you leave a month of garbage or a month of dishes in the sink. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like within like a week. Okay, it's okay to not wash your dishes. It's okay to not clean up. Use that time to just focus on yourself, because again, cleaning can be really stressful. Okay, that's just my way of thinking. Some of you guys would be like, "Oh my God, Drew, you're so dirty." Is that how you guys? Let's be real here. Okay, this is real life. Okay, like, are you going to cook 3 meals every single day for your family? Are you going to do laundry every single day because you have so many kids with so many clothes? Like, we had to be honest here, okay? We have to be real here. This is reality. And if you have a partner who doesn't help you with any of these things, and you're the only one, the main person that has to clean and has to cook and take care of the kids and grocery shopping and do all of that, and your husband's not helping you, I say it's okay. It's okay to not clean every single day. It's okay to not cook every single day. If you have to order out, go order out. If you have to hire somebody to clean your place, go hire if you have the money for it, okay? But all I'm saying is that it's okay to let go of being a neat freak. Coming from me, like I mentioned to you guys, my parents were neat freaks, and they just love to have a clean house and clean food to eat. And now that I'm a lot older and I have other responsibilities, I'm not at home all the time. I don't have every single day to clean up or anything, because you get tired, okay? You get super tired after working. You get tired after having a meeting with, like, I don't know, families or something like that, Like, it's okay to not cook and clean every day. To add to letting it go, it's okay to let go of pettiness. Pettiness can be a lot of things, okay? It could be, for example, I know when you're married, you have in a couple, the toilet seat. Okay, now for me, just putting it out there, I have no problem putting the seat down, and I have to because of Arabelle. Okay, somehow she just, I don't know, maybe it's a cat thing, but they just love to drink from the toilet bowl. Very disgusting. Even if they have their own bowl of water sitting there, they would rather drink toilet bowl water for some reason. So I have no problem closing the toilet seat, okay? But I know for some of you ladies, you guys hate it when your man don't clean it up, or they always have it closed, okay? Sometimes stuff like that, like very petty stuff, it's unnecessary to argue about or to start an argument. Another one would be laundry. Like, what happens if there's a basket near the door where he can throw his dirty laundry in there, right? But he happens to either miss or not used to having a basket available for dirty clothes. He likes to leave his dirty clothes in the bathroom, and you get so frustrated about it. Come up with a way for him to do his own laundry, okay? Because stuff like that is very petty, and that's just how some people live their lives. And if it has to come to a point where you guys need to sleep separately or have separate rooms, figure that out, okay? My thing is that stuff like any pettiness, any small arguments that is unnecessary. Or let's say if your man knows how to cook and he always cooks for you, but then one day he's sick and you're expecting him to cook for you, right? That shit, like, come on, like, why are you torturing your man to cook when he's sick? Like, come on, that makes no sense. My thing is that whatever pettiness that you and your man is going through, or just what you are going through with other people, just let that shit go. I've come to a point in my life where I am an adult. I'm a lot older now. I do not have the energy, the time to argue with anyone. I would rather just sit down, have a mature conversation. Each of us talk about what we're feeling and all that stuff, right? Take the time to give that our issues. And that's that, okay? But if I have to argue over pettiness shit, like, fuck out of there, Like, I've just learned to just let go of it, And sometimes when an issue occurs and you are the type to wanting to have that conversation to resolve the issues, but yet the other person doesn't want to do that, allow them to take their time. But at the same time, if they're not willing to come back and talk to you about the issues, then it goes to show that they're not mature enough to have the conversation, and there's just no point for you to keep constantly forcing them to have that conversation. Like, stuff like that, it's very petty. And so I just say, just let it go, because there's just no point of getting through that person. And you have to realize and you have to accept that some people are like that. And that's where you, again, have to create that boundary. That way you don't end up hurting yourself. And it's unfortunate that some people think like that and act like that. But my thing is that if you have that mindset where you're not petty and you're not immature and you're willing to have those conversations, all you have to do is just respect their decision of not wanting to talk to you and not wanting to resolve anything. And you just move forward with your life. And that's the only way that you can resolve things. Now, if other people are being petty towards you over stupid shit, whatever those things are, you got to create your boundaries and just remove yourself from that situation. Because at the end of the day, you guys, we're old now. We're an adult. We do not have the time and the space for pettiness, okay? And along with being petty, I know so many of us Hmong sisters, we like to be in control of our life. We like to be in control of a lot of things in our life, basically. I say with certain things in your life, it's okay to let go of control. And there are times where we think that we are in control of our life, but something happens and it didn't go the way that we plan, and we get mad and we're frustrated, and we tend to blame, let's say, our partner, or tend to blame other people, and we're really upset of ourselves, right? My thing is that sometimes in life you can't really control it. Like for me, for example, I did not sign up to be divorced at all. I was married because I wanted to be married, and that person was the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Did I have control of that? Did I wanted to force them to stay with me? Oh yeah, I could have, but then I also understand that you can't force somebody to be in the relationship when they don't want to be in it, especially in the first place. And so what do? In order to not be in control of that situation, you don't have to allow that person to just leave. You gotta allow and you have to accept that this person no longer wants to be with me. This person no longer love me. And so if you yourself were you are a loving person, but yet that person doesn't love you in return, there's no point of being in that relationship. And it's best to just leave. It's best to just end that relationship. Some people don't have that kind of mindset where they're afraid to let go, they're afraid to leave, and they rather cheat. And if that's the case, you gotta be a strong woman, you gotta be a strong person or a strong man to just leave, because you guys know where I stand when it comes to cheating. I don't condone that, nor do I accept that. I don't care if you're dating or married. When it comes to cheating, that's it for me. I don't care. I mean, you're okay. You're allowed to cheat, but I'm not going to stay for it. You know what I'm saying? So with that, even though I wanted to take control of my life, if you are in a relationship or in a marriage with someone who don't share the same value, don't see the same vision of where you guys are heading towards because of your own life together, there's just no point of trying to force that person to be in it. Like even if the person cheated and you want to be in control of your life, yeah, you will stay in it just because you still want to be married. You don't want to have that divorce title, right? Because a lot of times in our Hmong community, they don't like the divorce title. Whenever you get divorced, you have that title, and then a lot of people look down upon you. For me, I haven't really experienced that. Maybe because I don't surround myself with a lot of Hmong people. I don't know. And I'm very quiet. People don't know me like that, which is a good thing. So, but then I've heard stories that a lot of divorcees, women, are looked down upon because they're divorced. And so a lot of times as married women, we don't want to get divorced because of that. We don't want to bring shame to our families, our parents, our clan, I don't know, a clan last name or whatever it is, right? And so we end up just staying for the heck of it because we don't want that name. And it goes back to pleasing other people and, not being able to let go of that person. And I get it. It's hard. It's easy said than done. And especially when you have kids with this person, it's a lot harder. And I am grateful that I don't have kids and I don't have to go through that. But I'm just one of those people that had an easier way out. But for those who have kids and really want to remove yourself within that relationship because you're no longer in control or you can't really control your situation anymore, like I don't know what else to say or to give you guys, just because I didn't really have to go through that. And I'm just representing those who, did get married and didn't have kids. And it was just a lot easier for me to just leave. But then I hear stories from people who are divorced, who is Hmong and who went through divorce, who's either culturally or legally married, whichever it is. And it is hard on them because of having kids. And for those who are divorced, what are some things that you can, give advice to those who are thinking about heading towards that direction? I'm not against it, nor am I for it. But like I said, I got married because I wanted to do marriage. But then again, when you're with someone who doesn't have that kind of mindset, who doesn't really understand what marriage is, and they think that it's a game where you can just fuck around and do whatever, then you have no control of that, basically. And I say that's okay to let go of that control. That's just an example that I have you guys. I know there's so many examples that I can tell you guys when it comes to letting go of control, but man, like when you think that you are in control of your life, you think that you got everything straightened out. But when something like marriage is something that you can't control because you're with someone who doesn't see the same thing or who no longer loves you anymore, who doesn't want to work things out, like it sucks, but I've learned to, accept his, I don't know, choice of not loving me, I guess. What I don't accept was the cheating part, but again, it just goes back to yourself as an individual. What's your deal breaker? It's okay to not be able to control certain things in your life. And I believe things happen for a reason. And I say that if it happens for a reason, you go with it. You can't really turn back things. You can't prevent things from happening. It just happens. We don't know what our future will bring to us. But in the present time, we just have to live life, figure things out, and just keep living. That's just part of life. And yeah, like I said, it's okay to let go of certain things Because at the end of the day, throughout all of the points that I've given you guys, we don't really have control of our life on certain situations. What we can control is how we want to live our lives. We have that options, but a lot of us don't know that. If, for example, if the relationship that you are in does not serve you, you have the option to leave. You have the option to say no. You have the option to create your boundaries. Like, who says that you don't matter? And it sucks that our Hmong culture has embedded us this thing where we have to, people please other people and do things for other people, and that for us, we don't matter. I say we do matter. And like I mentioned earlier, if you strip down our culture, you strip down our religion, we're just human. We're just human, alive, trying to live life. Our culture and our religion are just an add to us. It shouldn't define us. I mean, some people use it to define them, but I say that you shouldn't use those things to define who you are. Because, like I said, when you remove those things, we're all just human. We all think alike, do things alike. It's just more of we have to be in control of our life. But if the people that we surround ourselves are doing things or saying things that are preventing us from living the life that we know we deserve, that's when you take the control to either take yourself out of that situation or continue to be in that situation. But if you continue to be in a situation where it's not serving you in a good way, that's your own fault. It's just my thing. It's your fault that you are still in that horrible relationship. It's your fault that you're still trying to please other people. It's your fault for being in an environment that you shouldn't be in, or being associated with people that you shouldn't associate with. Because like I said, at the end of the day, when you no longer have your husband, you no longer have your family, you no longer have your dogs, cats, your kids, who are you as a person? That ties to the last point, which I want to ask. Or maybe you should ask yourself this question. Are you okay? When you don't have your husband there, when you don't have your kids, your in-laws, right? Or even your friends or your dog or cats, right? Are you okay? And the reason why I ask that is because, all the points that I mentioned, pleasing other people, trying to be in control of our life when sometimes we can't really control it, the pressure of getting married when you don't want to get married, the pressure of having kids when you don't want kids, or it's hard to have kids, like the pressure of meeting other people's expectations. Like, how are you feeling? How are you mentally taking all this in? Do you need a break? Do you need a lot of time for yourself? If you need that time for yourself, if you go to episode 38, I did an episode about self-care where you can take care of yourself internally and externally. Because I believe that you need to do both in order to be the best version of yourself and to see what you deserve when it comes to taking care of yourself. We can't blame other people for us not being the best version of ourselves. I can go to a different episode when it comes to, being in a relationship and changing who you are mentally, physically. Because I think I mentioned this in some of my episodes where I was overweight. Okay. I was overweight. I was stressed, but I mentally did not think I was. And after I got out of that relationship, I lost 50 pounds naturally. And I see a lot of things clearer. And again, I don't want to point fingers at the other person, but I do believe that when you put yourself, or when you are a part of someone's world, or you are a part of someone who spiritually or physically drains the shit out of you and keeps taking from you, and you keep giving them things and keep pleasing them, that's where you don't take care of yourself. You don't know who you are. You're still the same person 5 years ago, or that time when you met this person. And you guys, it's so strange. Like, it's I could do a different episode on that. But for example, okay, like, you gotta take care of yourself. And I do believe that, I get it. When you get married, your body is different, okay? It's a lot nicer. And then when you have kids, your body changes. Sometimes your husband likes it, sometimes he doesn't like it. And you guys, I hear so many Hmong stories about like Hmong husbands not loving their wife because their body changed, or they don't take care of themselves. And then right after divorce, they had a glow up. And I believe there's a reason why there's a glow up, okay? Because I've been there, okay? Yeah, and then these Hmong women, they realized that, after divorce, they didn't take care of themselves. They didn't love themselves. And now that they're divorced, they're able to look better. Some of them even got surgeries to get a booty, to get the boobs done, and to do some like cosmetic stuff for themselves, I mean, kudos to them. But yeah, they've done that because they realize that at the end of the day, I have to love myself. Because if I don't love myself, I don't present myself in a way where, I mean, they're not trying to do things to prevent their husband from cheating or all that stuff. No, it's more of they realize that at the end of the day, I have to take care of myself. Just because I have a husband and kids, that doesn't mean that I lack love for myself. Because if I'm the best version of myself, then I can take care of my husband. Then I can take care of my kids. And I know it's easy said and done. All the things that our parents taught us to be patient and take care of other people, what they missed to teach us daughters, Hmong daughters, is to take care of ourselves, to love ourselves first before we can love anybody. If we don't know how to love ourselves and put ourselves first, then how are we supposed to present ourselves to other people? And please, my Hmong sisters, take the time to take care of yourself. If you, like I say, if you need to listen to my self-care and also to add self-worth episode, self-care is episode 38, self-worth is episode 39. I have those episodes for you guys to listen to. And I hope that it will help you to see that you do matter and that you should start to love yourself more. These are just things that I wish our parents could have taught us. But then again, our parents were old-fashioned and they only know what they know based on what their parents had taught them and what they experienced. But my thing is, it's no excuse for us just because we live in the United States where it's a free world, right? It's not entirely free, but we're able to take control of what we can and cannot allow into our lives. And just because our parents say that, no, you're supposed to grow up, get educated, get a job, find a man, get married, and have kids, and be successful, and that's it in life. There's more into life. But if you're like me, if you're a Hmong, where family wasn't the main thing for you, where you're not tight or you're not close to your mom's side or your dad's side of the family, and the only people or family that you know is church, and you don't know much about the culture, or your parents don't give a crap about the culture, or you weren't exposed to the Hmong tradition and all that stuff, right? It's no excuse for you to want better for yourself and to realize that you can have the life that you desire, but you have to be able to discern certain things from people, from your environment, your energy, their energy. Like, you have to be able to know what's good for you and what's not good for you. And it starts with you. And so, although our parents taught us those things, me as a Hmong daughter, as a Hmong woman, I'm gonna tell you guys that you can have that life that you want, but you gotta make better choices. You have to search that within yourself. And I can save so much. Okay, I can say so much and I can save so much, but I can't save everyone. As much as I want to hold your hands and, you know, take you out of your situation that you're in, but the day it's your life, honey. It's if you want more for yourself, you can. You have to search that. You have to want that. And that's what I did. I'm still searching. I'm still trying to figure out stuff out, you know, and it takes you to break that generational curse. It takes you to see that some people don't deserve to be in your life. And it's okay to move on. It's okay to want better for yourself. You know, I wish I could save every Hmong woman, every Hmong sisters out there who are going through, you know, bad relationships, or who are struggling with themselves, or trying to figure themselves, or trying to get married and all that stuff. Like, you know, I want to be a super woman too, but all that I can do is have this podcast and tell you guys the real reality of life. You can say the dark side of life, okay? And because I've been through certain things in life, I even question life itself, why things happen the way it does. Like, I'm just very nosy like that, okay? Like, I just want to know why. Why does this happen? How does this happen? Like, what happened, or the why, when, how, where, whatever, right? That's just how I am thinking and how I'm living my life. It's just ongoing questions about life in general. Why things happened the way it did. What could I have done better? Was it my fault? Was it their fault? Should I have been, you know, choosing differently? Like, all these ongoing questions. Because I want best for myself. And I've learned that the key to having a successful life is, it all starts with you. It's not your husband. It's not your kids. It's not your mom and dad, sisters, brother, uncle, aunts. It's none of these things. Not even your friends. It starts with you. And you can't point your fingers at other people. You have to keep yourself accountable. I am continuing to do that myself. And like I say, it's easier said than done. But like Nike said, just do it. If you have a goal in mind, if you have certain things that you want to accomplish, yes, write those down, but do it. Because if you don't do it, how would you know that's going to happen? So that is all that I have for you guys. You guys, I do, you know, if you're listening and you're a Hmong, I do love you guys. I want the best for everyone, you know, but I can say so much and I can do so much. But if you stumble upon this episode, either you're a Hmong or not, and this resonate with you in any way, and it's helping you to become the best woman, to break those barriers, to break those general curses, to do better, to want better for your life, then thank you for listening. I know life can be hard at times, but I'm just one of those people that's willing to tell it how it is. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I'm going to the deepest ocean to give you guys all these information. And I believe that when you have knowledge, share it. I'm not going to keep everything for myself. I like to share things, and some people, they don't like to hear certain things, and that's fine. That's why I have this podcast. This is why I also created this podcast, because of what I've been through. And again, all these questions that I have, like, I've, you know, like, there are times, well, most of the time, it's like, it's more of like, when you grew up in a certain culture or an environment where you thought that this was it, But when you actually go through it and it's the opposite, and then it makes you question, is this how I'm supposed to live my life? Is this how I'm supposed to believe this? So I question it. And so because of that, I have this platform to share with you guys of the things that I realize about myself, about life, what I know so far. And there's a lot of things that I want to know more of. And I'm just, like I said, one of those people that's willing to share the knowledge for you guys. And I know I'm like rambling right now, okay? But all in all my Hmong sisters or just women in general, I love you guys. And men too, okay? I love my men too. I mean men, not boys, men, okay? I love everyone who has been listening. Thank you so much. And I hope that this episode will help you or encourage you to want better for your life. But on that note, I'm going to end this episode because if I'm not, I'm going to ramble on and talk about some random stuff that I'm not supposed to be talking about. Okay, it's time to end. Other than that, if you want to, I don't know, follow me on my social media, I have my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I also have my website as well. You guys can find me at yours truly, and I will be there. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next episode.